Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now with the main headlines. Large crowds of Shias walked towards the holy city of Kadhimiyya to commemorate the martyrdom of Imam Musa al-Kadhim alayhi salam. Large numbers of Shia citizens call on election candidates to support marginalized groups in Pakistan. Recent study recommends enactment of special law to protect holy Husseini rituals. And 3 US service members killed, dozens injured in an attack on Al Tanf military base. Biden says US shall respond. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear viewers. This is Yunus Dawood and you're watching Shia Waves live from London, only on Imam Hussein TV 3. Large numbers of Iraqi mourners continue their walk towards the capital of Baghdad to commemorate the painful anniversary of the martyrdom anniversary of Imam Musa al-Kadhim alayhi salam in the holy city of Kadhimiyya. The Imam's martyrdom anniversary is on the 25th of the month of Rajab, which is in which millions of pilgrims from inside and outside Iraq participate. Correspondent of Shia Waves agency reported that thousands of Iraqi pilgrims have been continuing their massive procession for several days towards the capital Baghdad to commemorate the painful pilgrimage of Rajab. He confirmed that the morning processions and service tents are spreading along the way to provide food and drinks to the honourable pilgrims. Security forces have laid plans ahead of the pilgrimage to maintain security and to provide emergency assistance. Large numbers of Shias in Pakistan have called on the candidates for the upcoming elections in the country from the Shia community to work in 3 important areas to serve marginalized groups, namely education, employment, and health, to make them a priority. In interviews with the Shia Waves agency, Shia citizens in Islamabad, Quetta, Baluchistan and other Pakistani cities have said that the marginalized and poor groups in the country have not received adequate support from previous governments, and this requires the candidates for the upcoming elections from the Shia community to work on supporting them and granting them their full rights. They also added that 3 important areas that need to be worked on, namely education, health and employment, are what should be focused on in the upcoming periods, noting that they are placing this great responsibility on the shoulders of the candidates in the event of their victory in the legislative elections. They explained that education is of great importance that must be undertaken in order to educate our nation better, in addition to the importance of supporting health facilities, building hospitals and providing the necessary treatment for patients, in addition to providing job opportunities for young people. Pakistani Shias, including leaders of a number of tribes, urged those who will win parliamentary seats to walk according Imam Ali's will to his governor in Egypt, Malik al-Ashtar, on the rules of governance and preserving the rights of the people. Pakistan will witness the holding of legislative elections, which a large number of Shias consider an opportunity to obtain seats and political representation to serve the Shia community in particular and the people of their country in general. A recent study has recommended the importance of calling on Iraq's lawmakers to enact a special law to protect the holy Husseini rituals in order to honour these religious ceremonies that are commemorated by millions of Shia followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. The University of the Holy City of Karbala stated on its official website that the Faculty of Law at the university witnessed the discussion of a master thesis on the criminal protection of the holy Shiite rituals presented by student Hamza Hassan Amin. According to the University of the Holy City of Karbala, the study conducted by the researcher Hamza Hassan Amin from the Holy City of Karbala aims to clarify the orientation of the Iraqi legislator in providing the means to protect the Shia rituals due to the representation of a deep-rooted belief. The study concluded that the holy Hussein rituals are considered to be basic rights and freedoms that enjoy constitutional and legal protection. The study's recommendations are important for ensuring the protection of the holy Hussein rituals, which are an essential part of the religious and cultural life of millions of Iraqis. The enactment of a special law would provide a strong legal basis for protecting rituals and will help to deter those who would seek to violate them. Let us remind our respective viewers of today's headlines. Large crowds of Shias walked towards the holy city of Kadhimiyya to commemorate the martyrdom anniversary of Imam Musa al-Kadhim alayhi salam. Large numbers of Shia citizens call on election candidates to support marginalized groups in Pakistan. Recent study recommends enactment of special law to protect the holy Husseini rituals. Also tonight, Grand Ayatollah Shirazi remarks on rulings of missed fasting days. Three U.S. service members were killed and 28 injured this weekend in an attack on Al Tanf U.S. military base near the Jordanian-Syrian border, American and Jordanian officials have said on Sunday. In a statement from the White House, the U.S. President Joe Biden confirmed the incident, implementing that the Iranian regime, while we are still gathering the facts of this attack, we know it was carried out by a radical Iran-backed militants, groups operating in Syria and Iraq. He declared that the attack is considered as one of the deadliest recent attacks on American troops in the Middle East. Later Sunday, an Iraqi group calling itself Islamic Resistance said that it was responsible for the attack. U.S. Central Command said at least 34 troops were injured by the one-way attack drone, with 8 flown out of the Jordan for follow-up care. It described the 8 as being in stable condition. The large drone struck a logistics support base in Jordan known as Tower 22. It is along the Syrian border and is used largely by troops involved in the advise and assist mission for Jordanian forces. And now we'll continue with some shorter news. Based on the statistics announced by the Council of Churches in Basra, the number of Christian families living in southern Iraq has shrunk from more than 7,000 to less than 350 families, Arabic media sources proclaimed. Quoting the Iraq Studies Telegram channel, according to the released statistics, more than 80% of the Christians of Basra, Nasiriyah, Kut, and Al-Amara have migrated from the region, giving reasons such as the weakness of the law, lack of respect for rights, and mistreatment as third-class citizens. Iraq registered as Christians populated of 1,262,000 people in the 1987 census, when Christians constituted about 4% of the Iraqi population. But it seemed that the lack of proper employment and security problems led the Christian population to decrease to less than 1%. The Sunday Guardian reported on Sunday, citing informed sources, that the Pakistani army has allegedly assisting members of the ISIS Khorasan branch in crossing the border and entering Afghanistan. Ihsanullah Ihsan, a former commander of the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, has also confirmed to the Sunday Guardian that the Pakistani army is assisting the ISIS Khorasan branch in entering Afghanistan. According to his claim, ISIS fighters enjoy full support from the Pakistani army and are considered militarily supported by the Pakistani military. The Sunday Guardian, citing source close to the Afghan Taliban officials, has corroborated its claims regarding Pakistan's alleged efforts to train and send ISIS into Afghanistan. The recent assembly elections in Madhya Pradesh, Chandigarh, Rajasthan and Telangana have shown a very low representation of Muslim community in the legislature. Muslim Mirror reported that this raises concerns and points to the marginalization of Muslims in terms of political representation, posing a serious danger to the community. The results indicate that politics will determine the future of the Muslim community in India, promoting a need for introspection about the kind of politics they want in order to live with dignity in the country. Gunmen attacked villages in the oil-rich region of Abyei, claimed by both Sudan and South Sudan, leaving at least 52 people dead, including a UN peacekeeper and 64 wounded, a regional official said on Sunday. The motive of the attacks on Saturday evening was not immediately clear, but it was suspected to revolve around the land dispute, Bulus Coach Abyei Information Minister told the Associated Press in a telephone interview from Abyei. Deadly ethnic violence has been common in the region, where Twik Dinka tribal members from neighboring Warrap state are locked in a land dispute with Nogok Dinka from Abyei over the Anit area, located at the border. Scientists at the World Weather Attribution Group found in a new study published on Wednesday that climate change caused by humanity's planet's heating carbon pollution was the main driver of the extreme Amazon drought. They said in their study that it had made the drought 30 times more likely from June to November of 2023. The historic agricultural drought affected millions of people across the Amazon basin, stroking huge wildfires, shrinking waterways, and taking a calamitous toll on wildlife. Scientists fear that climate change and deforestation combined could intensify drying and warming in the Amazon. The Amazon is estimated to store more than 100 billion tons of carbon in its trees and soils, over twice the worldwide annual emissions from all sources. The daily scholarly meetings of Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq al-Hussein al-Shirazi was held on Sunday, the 16th of Rajab. In this session, like the previous meetings, the Marja answered the questions of the attendees about various jurisprudential issues. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi discussed some of the rulings on fulfilling missed days of fasting and praying, and fidya. He said the issue is covered in Urwatul Wuthqa, that if someone missed a day of fasting in the holy month of Ramadan, being a traveller or sick, they must observe this day of fasting until the next year. But if they fail to observe this day of fasting during the following 11 months, due to the same illness that kept them from fasting during the holy month of Ramadan, there is a consensus among the jurists that the person will be excused from observing that day of fasting or qada and will only have to pay fidya. His Eminence continued that if he contracted a disease other than one due to which he could not be able to fast during the holy month of Ramadan, that is, they contracted a type of illness of the month of Ramadan and were unable to fast, and in the following 11 months they contracted a different disease and became unable to perform qada of the fasting. In this case, a group of jurists have said they will not be excused from the qada of the missed day of fasting for the rest of their life, and they must fulfill it whenever they can, in addition to having to pay a fidya. He also said if someone did not fast in the month of Ramadan because they were traveling, and in the following 11 months because they were sick, they did not succeed in fasting, or vice versa, the same ruling will apply to them, as I earlier mentioned, referring to the opinion of some of the jurists. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi said, but in the case of a person who does not suffer from illness but suffers from other excuses, a group of jurists, including the late Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Muhammad al-Shirazi and the late Mullah Ahmed Naraghani, well as also some other jurists who base their verdict on narrations that impact a general application, they have said that if a person failed to fast for any excuse in the month of Ramadan and for any excuse during the next 11 months, they will be excused from observing the qada altogether. The Marja continued, this is the opinion of a group of jurists, which I also think is a valid based on certain hadiths.
بله بنا به قول صاحب عروه و جماعتی فرق هست، اما رو اون عرضی که من کردم 3 تا روایت داره تو ذهنمه. طبق اطلاق اون 3 تا روایت فرقی بین مسافر و مریض و عذرهای دیگه مثل عذرهای زنانه و مثل سفر اجباری و مثل سفر حج و هیچ فرقی. مهم عذره. تو ماه رمضان معذور بود نگرفت، این 11 ماه دیگه هم معذور بود، چه عذر مرض باشه چه عذر چیزای دیگه باشه.
The United Nations Development Programme announced its new report that Afghanistan is facing a major electricity crisis, adding that only 40% of the country's population has access to electricity. The report emphasized that the lack of electricity has negative effects on the provision of essential services such as health services, education, humanitarian aid, development and economic improvement. It pointed out that provincial hospitals connected to the electricity grid have 5 to 6 daily hours, and even some days do not have electricity for 12 hours. The UN report added that the important electricity covers only 40% of the consumption demand in Afghanistan, noting that electricity supply decreases during the times of increased demand, including winter. It explained that Afghanistan is heavily dependent on importing electricity from neighboring countries such as Central Asia and Iran, which provide more than 75% of its electricity. It should be mentioned that since Taliban returned to power in August 2021, Afghanistan has continued to experience deteriorating economic, security and health circumstances amid ongoing education ban on girls. We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves show. Let's remind our day viewers of today's headlines. Large crowds of Shias walked towards the holy city of Kadhimiyya to commemorate the martyrdom of Imam Musa al-Kadhim alayhi salam. Large numbers of Shia citizens call on election candidates to support marginalized groups in Pakistan. Recent study recommends enactment of special law to protect the holy Husseini rituals. 3 US service members killed and dozens injured in attacks on Al Tanf military base. Biden says US shall respond. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi remarks on rulings of missed fasting days. Amid freezing temperatures, the United Nations report shows majority of Afghan families have no electricity. You can view the latest news on Shia Waves website, and you can send news of your city or country to be published on our news agency. Contact us on the numbers at the bottom of your screen. This is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching, and we pray to Allah the Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أنا أدي خفقان، أدي شريانين مسدودات قلبي، وآخذ علاج، وأدي سكر.